What's up, people? I'm back with a different review. Normally I do firearm reviews, but I am back to talk about a recent purchase that I got. As you've seen in the beginning of the video, I did a walk around of my 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 3.0 Eco Diesel Farout Edition. That was a very long-winded introduction. So I've come from a line of Ram 1500s. I'm a huge Ram 1500 owner. I've owned 5 Rams over the years. I'm definitely a Mopar guy. So anyway, my most recent Ram that I had was a 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn. It was the blacked out version. It was all black. Emblem was like the blacked out version, blacked out edition. So anyway, unfortunately, due to work and travel, I had put a ton of miles on this thing, and I think I had about 61,000 miles on it. And I bought it in August of 22, and I bought this Jeep in March of 24, and it's now June of 24. So anyway, I actually went to the dealership to go buy a Scat Pack. They had red tags and all pretty much their entire lot. And due to me owing so much on the Ram still, they couldn't make the Scat Pack work, which is probably a good thing because it was more out of want than, or need and want than actual functionality and what I do for a living. But anyway, I had my mindset, my heart set on getting that Charger Scat Pack, and I got approved, but they wanted so much money down, right, because of the upside down from the truck. So I shook hands, walked away, and probably 15-20 minutes after I left the dealership. Now, mind you, I have a kind of a special relationship with this dealership. I've bought in majority of my vehicles through them, a lot of vehicles, let's say that. So I'm no stranger to them. So anyway, I get a phone call. I'm on my way home, and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in another Ram?" So I'm like, "All right, sure." So anyway, long story short, I get back to the dealership. Probably shouldn't have. Anyway, they had a Ram and they had this Jeep pulled up, and they were like, "Hey, this is a special edition Jeep." And I knew nothing about Jeeps. I had never ever planned on owning a Jeep. I've always heard horror stories about them. So long story short, I drove off a lot with this Jeep, and it was stickered at, I want to say it was stickered at 79. So this is the Farout edition. They only made 1,000 of them. It is the 3.0 Eco Diesel. I've never owned a diesel. I didn't know shit about diesels, and the spur of the moment, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So anyway, in the 3 months that I've owned this vehicle, I have done my homework and my research and come to really like this Jeep a lot. Now, first and foremost, coming from a Ram to a Jeep, the size on the inside is much smaller. So there's a bunch of little tiny cubbies and nooks and whatever in the Jeep, but it's nowhere near what the Ram is. So I want to talk about the good and the bad of what I've experienced so far of owning this Jeep. Not all Jeeps, so I can only speak for my Jeep. So a couple things I want to talk about first that I got done to it. As you've seen at the beginning, I did kind of a walk around of it. I did a leveling kit, I did a wheel and tire package, I did ceramic tint all the way around. I did 5% all the way around. I did 55% on my front windshield. I think the video caught my license plate. I do live in the state of Oklahoma, where I live, there's no mountains. So from sun up to sundown, there is nothing blocking that sun. So it does get pretty hot here. So ceramic tint is kind of a must. If I think of anything else throughout this video, I'll mention it. But I do have 4,445 miles on this. That's what I put on this Jeep in 3 months. So I bought it March 9th. It is now June 13th. At 2,700 miles, my Jeep had kind of took a shit on me. And it was almost everything that I've watched on YouTube and everything that I read online. Every light in my instrument cluster came on. My check engine light, my auto start stop, my DEF system, my open hood, like just out of the blue. So anyway, I scheduled service the next day. I live 48 miles from the dealership. So halfway to the dealership, another light pops up on my dash and it says you have 150 miles to drive or your Jeep will not restart without it being serviced. So I'm like, holy shit, what the hell happened? So anyway, get to the dealership, drop it off, and fighting tooth and nail with them. Now, mind you, this happened a month after I bought it. So it happened in the end of April, so a little over a month. And it's always like pulling teeth with the service side. Like, they have a sticker on the front windshield of every one of the vehicles on their lot that says, overnight courtesy vehicles provided. Now, every time I've gone there, they're like, oh, all of our courtesy vehicles are gone, sorry. Like, no, I just spent a shitload of money here again. You guys are gonna get me something. So anyway, they put me in the Charger Scat Pack that I was gonna buy. So I wasn't mad about that, driving that around for a few days. So anyway, I dropped it off on a Tuesday. Friday comes around, I haven't heard anything, and I have this Jeep Wave app that comes with the vehicle. You upload the app to your cell phone, and I'm like, I keep looking at it, and there's no updates, and I'm like, what the hell? So Friday, I swing in there, and like the service manager's like, hey, are you here to pick up your Jeep? And I thought it was kind of weird because I've never seen this guy before, so I don't know how he knew who I was. But anyway, I was like, yeah, is it done? And he was like, dude, it was done that day. We've been trying to get a hold of you. And I'm like, I haven't gotten any calls or emails, text messages, faxes, anything. So anyway, pick up the Jeep, and I'm like, well, what was wrong with it? And they're like, a wire came unconnected from somewhere under the hood. So I was like, okay, can you tell me about this wire? And then I'm out on a road trip and the same thing happens. And they were, you know, like a normal dealership, a service department, they were vague about it. They were like, well, I wasn't the one under the hood. And I'm like, well, can you get me that information? Because that's pretty vital stuff. So anyway, and they were like, oh, we also had to update one of your O2 sensors. I didn't know O2 sensors needed to be updated for the DEF system. Remember, I'm brand new to diesel, so I have no idea about anything of this. So anyway, we're almost 2,000 miles since this happened, and I've not had any hiccups. Knock on wood, whatever is in front of me. So here's another thing that I wished I'd known. So the modern diesels required DEF fluid, and I knew that much, right? Like, there's a couple things I knew about diesels. So everything that I've read, especially in the owner's manual, stuff I've read online, YouTube videos, people are like, oh yeah, your DEF tank should last you anywhere from 5 to 10,000 miles. And I'm like, bet, cool. It's cheap, you know, so I wasn't too worried about it. So at 40, let's just say 4,500 miles, when I got the Jeep, it was 3/4 full. So in 4,500 miles, I've had to put 3 boxes of DEF in this Jeep already. So I don't know. I asked the service department about that, and they're like, yeah, that's normal. You don't have any leaks or anything. I mean, I pay $20 a box, so I get the DEF Blue or Blue Peak, DEF Peak, whatever, the Platinum, just from what I read online, and it kind of makes me feel warm and fuzzy knowing that I have a better quality DEF fluid going into the system. I know someone on here is probably going to be like, oh, I've ran the cheapest DEF on the planet and I got 800,000 miles on my diesel. Awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm just not willing to take that risk. So I'll spend a couple extra bucks and put the Platinum in there. The Jeep did come with 33-inch Wild Peak tires, the Falcon Wild Peaks. and they were good tires, but I knew I wanted to do a wheel and tire package. So I was getting about 25 miles to the gallon with those, and I drive, you know, the speed limit, and it's a diesel, so this thing doesn't go fast. So flooring this thing is only going to do more harm than actually speeding up. I did a 20 by 10 fuel wheel. As you can see, they have the red accents in there because I wanted it to match the red stickers and badges and stuff on the vehicle, in a true 35 12 50 by 20 Nitto Recon grapplers. So the reason I went with the Recon grapplers because that's what I ran on my last Ram. I had put a wheel and tire package, I think at 500 miles, right almost the next week after I bought that Ram. And at 61,000 miles, I swear to God, I had no idea these tires were going to last that long. But there was more than half the tread life on those tires. So I don't know if I got lucky. I've never seen a tire last that long. I've driven millions of miles, and I'm not even exaggerating. In my career, my 24-year career, I've driven miles, and I've seen the best of the best burn out fast. I've seen cheap tires burn out last, whatever it be. But these Nitto Recon grapplers, I was impressed. And for 1,800 bucks installed, it was a no-brainer to go with those again. So anyway, my gas mileage did drop. I don't notice any more leg taking off from a stop sign or a stoplight like normally you would with a gasser, but it did affect my gas mileage. And I think that's what some people online are getting confused with when they're like, oh, I've run a 37, I didn't notice any change. So the diesel has a ton of torque, so yeah, you're probably not going to notice any change off the line, but it did eat at my mileage pretty good. I was on a fair tank, I was averaging about 25 miles to the gallon. I'm struggling to get 21, and that's babying it. So I'm around the 19.8 to 20.2 miles per gallon. And I recently started adding the hot shot, 1 ounce of hot shot every fill up in here too, because also what I've learned is diesel quality is not what it used to be, so there's not as many additives in it. And I fill up at a reputable gas station every time. I don't just go to a mom and pop shop that that sells diesel. I go to a gas station where I know that actually people that run diesels, that are truckers, that depend on quality fuel, that fill up there. Trying to think of what else. So I also learned that the Rubicons have different trim levels. This is the absolute top of the line Rubicon. It is fully loaded. It came with the cold weather package, the extreme towing package. As you can see, I have these sound deadeners. They came with the Jeep. I've never owned a Jeep before. I don't know if they work or not. I know on the little page of all the breakdown, Mopar charged 550 bucks for these, but I see them for I think like 100 bucks on Amazon, and I see people on YouTube videos installing these, so I'm assuming they do help out some. But I can remove, these are T-tops, and I can remove the back. Oh, I did put an undercover flex bed cover on here. Before I did the wheel and tire package, I noticed that helped my gas mileage a little bit. It did have the spray and bed liner. It's all LED inside and out. I've changed out the front and rear diff fluids with AMSOIL. That's personal preference. I'm going to do the transfer case next with AMSOIL. I'm probably going to actually redo my front and rear diffs. I'm probably going to put different diff covers on them. But so much, the more I drive this, the more I fall in love with it. And I keep seeing these Rams on the road because when you think of a vehicle, that's all you see on the road, right? Anyway, that's how I am, especially when I went in to go get this Scat Pack charger. That's all I seen on the road was Scat Pack chargers. So I don't miss I do miss the Ram, but I'm glad I got into the Jeep. It's a lot more compact, and I've adjusted to it. I'm 6'1", about 280 pounds. There's plenty of head height. I don't hit my head on anything. I did put the Desert Does It seat jackers on the driver and passenger seats, because when the Jeep seats are kind of angled down, so it's really awkward when you're driving. Those seat jackers actually give it an angle up, and it's much more comfortable. Here, I don't know how well it's gonna do it because my windows are all blacked out, but I do have the full leather. I don't know what else. I think that's about all I've done to this. I do have like my Molly kits set up in the back with pretty much my Roland Armory. Yeah, it's just finding new places to stash stuff in a very compact vehicle. Oh, I am probably gonna get it ceramic coated. There's a guy I've been talking to who was gonna do my truck, and we ended up doing the paint protection film on the front end of the truck, and I wasn't too impressed with it. But I like a clean vehicle. Like, I wash this every day. So if you got into my vehicle any day of the week, you would think it would just roll off a lot. Like, that's how clean I keep my vehicles. So not sure what else to mention about it. But anyway, I don't see many videos of the newer Gladiators on YouTube. I mean, I've searched high and low, especially the 3.0 Eco Diesel. I know it's a discontinued motor. I wish I wasn't such a spur of the moment person, because I definitely would have done my homework prior to buying this Jeep. I don't have regrets. I did get the extended warranty, so I'm covered to at least 100,000 miles, especially with the Jeep Wave. It's a 60 months, 100,000 miles powertrain, but I also got the extended warranty for the 60 months, 100,000, like everything. So any type of electrical, anything else that the powertrain doesn't cover. What I'm curious of is how this is going to do as soon as it starts getting really hot out. So right now it's 87 degrees, which is pretty mild for Oklahoma right now, especially in the middle of June. When we get into those hundreds and I'm driving 300-400 miles a day, that's going to be the ultimate test of this, because I've seen videos and read forums online where these 3.0s were just got so hot outside and these things running that they go into limp mode, like they won't go over 50 miles an hour. To me, that's unacceptable. Like, the dealership and I are going to be having a conversation for sure if that ever happens to this. So I really don't know what else to say. I know there's a ton of Jeep owners, just like any other owner. I know I'm going to be forgetting stuff. Remember, I am new to Jeeps. I'm new to diesels. All I can say is that I am really digging this Jeep so far. It looks good. It drives extremely comfortable. A lot more comfortable than I thought it would, because I've always heard that Jeeps were not the most comfortable to ride around in. I'm thinking because this is an actual Jeep truck and the longer wheelbase kind of balances out those bumps and nooks and crannies in the road. This did not come with the Fox 2.0 shocks. These came with Mopar shocks. And from my understanding, from what I read, is Mopar and Fox separated for whatever differences that they've had. But now what I've read, because I was like, oh man, those look like cool shocks, you know, maybe I'll get those and throw these on there. I guess I'm seeing a 50-50 on love and hate when it comes to the Fox 2.0 shocks. So I'm probably going to go Eibach. It's between Eibach and Bilstein. Now, Eibach, I don't know when came into the truck market, but when I lived on the West Coast, it was all Eibach. With my 5.0s and other sports cars that I had, it was always 5.0 coils and 5.0 shocks and struts. and I've always been impressed with them. So I'm willing to give Eibach a try for the truck market. Other than that, like I said, I really dig this Jeep. It's quiet. I my last time I had fully straight piped, like it was loud, and I liked it. But I'm getting older now. I'm actually appreciating how quiet this Jeep is. I can actually have a conversation if I'm riding with somebody. I can have a conversation on the phone. I can hear my music. Oh, and this has the Harman and Cardone sound system. It sounds amazing in here. So I had no idea that there was so many different trim levels for the Rubicons, but this is definitely a top tier Rubicon. I forgot to mention earlier when I said that it was stickered at like 79. I did not pay 79,000 for this. I would never have done that. They had a $24,000 red tag on this Jeep. So 55,000, I think is what it was. I think when I went to the DMV to get my tag, it showed on the list that I paid $56,999. $56,999. Does that sound right? So just shy of 57,000 from the dealership. I think it was a good buy. If y'all think I got ticked, let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I made the decision, so. But anyway, I will do another update probably about 10,000 miles, because I have the tools to change out my fuel filter. Obviously I did my front and rear diffs. Like, that's easy stuff. You have basic tools, dude. Watch the YouTube videos, have a little bit of confidence in yourself. You'll be able to do a lot of this stuff, because the dealership wants like $380 to change out a fuel filter. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that literally takes 10 minutes, 30 minutes to gather everything, take your time, you know, drain it, pull out the filter, put the new one in. 30 minutes tops, but literally, like, it's fast. The front and rear diffs, I had them both done in an hour together. Like, I think the back one was easier because there was nothing in the way. I'll do my transfer case next. But yeah, I will do a 10,000 mile update, which is here in about 5,500 miles. I'll have my fuel filter swapped out prior to then, and hopefully we're still running strong. I got faith. If not, it is covered under warranty. So anyway, I hope y'all are doing good. I'll get back onto some firearm videos soon, but I definitely wanted to kind of share this 3.0 diesel that is definitely new to me. So take care, guys.